This is one of LA's most visited places, Griffith Park. It's home to the Hollywood sign, 4,000 acres of hiking trails, and of course, the famous Griffith Observatory. It's an unusual landmark for a city, but even more unusual is the fact that it's completely free to enter. When I came here a couple weeks ago, it really got me thinking, how the heck did we end up with this place? It just doesn't seem like the sort of thing the city budget would allocate for. Turns out it was from a generous donation by a wealthy businessman of that time, Griffith J. Griffith. And this was sort of a pattern of wealthy citizens back in the day. They made their fortunes in oil, real estate, and railroads, but they left behind museums, gardens, and public parks, places that we still enjoy today, 100 years later. But it seems like today's billionaires are building a different kind of legacy. Instead of donating land, they're buying more of it. Instead of public parks, it's private bunkers.
No, I think that's just like a little shelter.
And observatories, oh no. It's full-on space travel now. So I set out to understand this shift, how the wealthy of the past shaped Los Angeles with the legacies they left for us today, and why it seems like today's billionaires don't seem to donate things like this anymore. So people love to say LA has no nature, and I'm just like, have you been to Griffith Park? For a city that's so dry, this place is surprisingly lush and has a lot to offer. It's famous around the world for the observatory, but it's so much more than that. You really can't see this whole park in one day. I have come here 5 different times to film this video, and I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface of all the things that you can do here. Of course, there's the observatory, the tennis courts are my favorite, but there's a train ride, there's a zoo, you can go horseback riding, baseball fields, soccer fields, barbecues, just so much space. Like, I really just have this whole space to myself right now. That is crazy. To go enjoy and be outside for apartment dwellers like myself, it's really nice. This is a park that truly has something for everyone, and there is really no other park like this in LA. And the story of how we got this park is unusual to say the least. Griffith Park is kind of a big deal for LA because this is a city that does not have a lot of public park space. In fact, we're notorious for having more golf course space than public parks. All this green space, all of this, golf courses. And the parks, when you zoom in, are pretty tiny in comparison. This right here is Pan Pacific Park. In comparison to the nearby golf course, it is teeny tiny. I mean, from this angle, it's almost comical how small it is. And this is why it's such a big deal that we have Griffith Park. It is the biggest park in LA. This is pretty much our Central Park. It's LA's backyard. In terms of acreage, it's actually 4 times bigger than Central Park. That is such an iconic place in New York that everyone just loves to visit. It really does make the city. And you can tell that Central Park was pre-planned. The land was set aside by the city to be this great public park. And that's actually what most cities do. They pre-plan out where the parks are going to be. LA is just super weird in that no one did that. The way that we ended up with Griffith Park is a pretty crazy story, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened. But first I want to thank Quince for sponsoring this video. If you're a fan of parks, having a picnic in the park, visiting the park, they have the best stuff to wear, or honestly, even just cute dishes for your home or for a picnic. Like these really pretty cups I brought on this picnic and this wooden serving bowl. It's factory direct, so the prices are incredible. I really like that they use premium materials. Like this is linen. I have a cashmere sweater that I'll show. This little cardigan is from Quince. It's made from 100% organic cotton. I like to wear it just buttoned at the top like that. I think looks pretty cute. It's a great cardigan for spring. And this little cardigan is made from 100% Mongolian cashmere. It's super soft. I love gingham for spring, so this linen top is one of my favorite things that I got. I'll link it down below, of course. And this linen vest, which actually is a whole set. I feel like this can look professional or just be really cute for spring. I love linen. And these percale sheets, I just love these. They're cooling. So if you're a hot sleeper like me, these are great, but I've been actually taking it to the park and to the beach because I just think it's really cute as a little picnic blanket as well, but also of course as sheets. They just have a lot of great options as far as clothing and also home products. Like, don't sleep on the home products. I love this wooden serving bowl that I got and also these cups, and I'll show you guys a couple of the other things I've been eyeing while I eat this cracker. I love these napkins. They also, I noticed, have furniture. Like you can get a bed, you can get a couch, there's suitcases, watches, there's diamond jewelry, there's 14 karat gold, all at great prices. So the quality is great, but the price is also great because it's factory direct. Another cool thing about Quince is they have 365-day returns. Like, that is pretty rare. Who does 365-day returns anymore? That's incredible. They also do free shipping on every order. So if you're looking for some new cute clothing items for spring or some picnic stuff, they've really got it all. So I'll link Quince below. I'll link everything I showed from Quince that I brought on this picnic, and let's get into the rest of the video. To really understand how this place came to be and why Griffith donated it, you gotta know his story. Griffith J. Griffith was this self-made guy. He made his money investing in silver mines in Mexico, and then he married up into the Mesmer family, which at the time was this wealthy family in LA. If you look at old maps of LA, you'll see it says Mesmer City. They owned a lot of land, and Griffith thought that Mary, his future wife, was going to inherit a lot of land and a lot of money. Turns out she had a lot of siblings. She wasn't actually going to inherit that much money. Griffith actually called off the engagement. So this guy's pretty greedy. And Mary, girl, what were you thinking? Like, you should have run. So they end up getting married. Fast forward many years later, Griffith is an alcoholic. He accuses Mary of cheating on him and poisoning him, and then he shoots her in the face. And incredibly, she actually survives this. Griffith ended up only going to prison for 2 years, and when he got out, his reputation was completely done for. So there's a lot of theories as to why Griffith actually donated this land. Some say it was to get rid of the tax burden. I personally think it was probably to help his reputation, but he did end up giving this land to the city as a Christmas gift.
When he made the donation, he said, "It must be a place of rest and relaxation for the masses, a resort for the rank and file, for the plain people. I consider it my obligation to make Los Angeles a happy, cleaner, and finer city. I wish to pay my debt of duty in this way to the community in which I have prospered."
Some of the rank and file that used this park was Walt Disney. The legend is that Walt Disney would sit on a bench over here while his daughters would ride the merry-go-round, and that's where he came up with the idea for Disneyland.
And the observatory is really the crown jewel of this park. It's what people around the world know it for and come here for, and it's made a cameo in quite a few movies.
I know it might seem a bit random to donate money for an observatory, but there's a pretty good explanation. So at the time, the only observatory that was open was the Mount Wilson Observatory, and it was really only open to scientists and researchers. And Griffith was so inspired by this place that he wanted to open an observatory for everyone to go look at the stars. So it's a pretty unique landmark. Not a lot of cities have public observatories, but it's really cool, and it's more than just a telescope. It is a full-on museum.
And while there are some other cities with observatories, this is the only one that is completely free to enter all the time. Anyone can wait in line to take a look through the telescope or just learn about how the universe works through the exhibits. The observatory really made this place famous, but the land donation back then was a big deal.
So Griffith really had this idea that all the best cities have a lot of public park space.
Griffith knew at the time it would be important to making this a great city.
Yeah, he wasn't a great guy, but we still got this park, and I don't think we really would have if not for that. It most likely would be mansions, apartments, parking lots, strip malls. And Griffith easily could have done this. He could have sold the land for so much money, even back then, to developers, or kept it as a private estate for his family for generations. But Griffith really wanted everyone to have access to nature and thought that this would make LA a better city. It's really cool that we have this green space, and it's just like, wow, I can't even believe I'm in LA right now.
This was one of the earliest large-scale donations to the public of Los Angeles, but it wasn't the only one. J. Paul Getty was an avid art collector and an oil tycoon who left behind quite the gift to LA when he passed away.
Probably the most grandiose example of a billionaire donating something to LA is the Getty Center. This $1 billion museum is completely free to enter, except parking is $25, but free other than that.
This is another place that you would need a couple days to really see everything because there is just so much to it. And Getty was known for saying art is, after all, meant to be seen and enjoyed enjoyed by as many people as possible. He didn't want to leave his collection to be hoarded and only seen by a few people. He wanted the art to be appreciated by everyone.
This place is more than just a museum though. It really is a public green space that you can hang out, have a picnic with friends. There are these beautiful gardens you can walk around.
Both of these landmarks are really iconic to LA, and it's hard to imagine the city without them.
So it kind of makes you wonder, why don't today's billionaires donate public spaces like this? It seems like they just spend their money on private jets and yachts.
And that's definitely the most sensational thing that's gonna get clicks. It makes for a good story, and so the media loves to talk about it. And it might be that wealthy people in the past were more generous than billionaires today, but I don't think that's exactly it.
The truth is, there's always been people who are generous and people who are not. Pretty much all throughout time and today. The media just likes to show one side of things, usually the more negative side. One reason it seems like today's billionaires aren't donating things like this is because a lot of the ones from the past didn't do it until the very end of their life or until after they died. That's the case for the Getty Center. This wasn't built till 20, 30 years after Getty passed away.
And Griffith was similar in that he didn't make any of his donations until the end of his life.
But actually, there are billionaires that are still donating public works today while they're still alive. We just don't hear about them as much. A more recent example is the Broad Museum. This one was completed in 2015, and it's also free to enter.
This was a $140 million project from Eli and Edith Broad, who made their fortune in real estate. Ever heard of KB Homes? Turns out the B in KB is actually for Broad. This museum was completed just in 2015, proving that there definitely are still wealthy people donating today. Their estimated net worth was about $6 billion, so they could still live a very lavish life and give something away. They didn't have to pick between the two. The Annenberg family has also donated quite a few spaces to LA in the past 20 years.
Like the Annenberg Beach House here in Santa Monica. This is a public pool that anyone can go to, and it was made possible by the Annenberg family.
And at one point in time, this area was a private members only club that was very exclusive and very expensive to get into. It was called Sand and Sea. So pretty cool that when the Annenbergs took it over, they decided to make it a really nice public space. It's kind of a unique one. Like, most billionaires go for museums, and this is not your typical municipal pool. It is way nicer. It feels more like a high-end hotel pool.
So you technically do have to pay an admission fee here. It's $10, so it's not free to use the pool, although the other spaces are free. Like, you can hang out in this little spot for free, but they're not making a profit from that. It's just to offset the operating expenses, you know, heating a pool, having lifeguards. They're definitely not making a profit.
And another one I had never been to myself before was this stunning park in Beverly Hills. The Greystone Mansion, once owned by the Doheny family, who made their fortune from oil, is now owned by the city of Beverly Hills, and the gardens are a free public park that anyone can go to. They even have some events like gardening workshops and movies in the mansion, although I will say this place has a lot of rules. You can't have a picnic here. It's really more for walking around and looking at than actually hanging out for like several hours. But still a cool spot to check out nonetheless. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how many public places you can go to completely for free in Los Angeles because they were donated. I mean, I didn't for a long time, and I've lived here for 10 years.
All of these donations really do make LA a lot nicer of a city to live in, just to have places to relax and explore that aren't your home or work. A true third place, really.
They're places where you can go learn something, or you can just go relax or get inspired. To a lot of people, these are just places they'll go one time as a tourist, and they'll think, that's cool, I guess. But to other people, this is their favorite place in the entire city. And I think there is something special about leaving something behind for everyone to enjoy. It doesn't matter how much money you have or what your status is. Maybe Griffith did donate this land to save his reputation, but you know what? It kind of worked. Most people don't know the whole story. They just know him for that part.
And I think it's pretty cool that we ended up getting this in kind of a weird way. But hey, 90 years later, people are still enjoying it.
So were the billionaires of the past more generous than the wealthy people today?
Well, no, not necessarily. Although that would have made for a better storyline. That's kind of what I wanted to find.
The truth is, there's always been people who are generous and other people who are not. And I mean, we can't tell people how to spend their money, but I hope that the people who have donated things to the public know that it is very much appreciated, even 100 years later.